Amazing. I would love for each of you to start out by just introducing yourself, your name, where you go to school or what you're doing now, and then maybe what your involvement is kind of in her campus media and our communities that brought you to the stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bethany. I use she, her pronouns. I attend Juilliard up in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and I am currently a junior during my bachelor's degree. And my major is I am a cellist, so I'm getting a degree in cello performance. I'm a part of the campus trendsetter and college fashionista programs for her campus, and I do a lot of ambassador programs through her campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Niyati. I graduated from Purdue University in the class of 2022. I currently live in Manhattan. I work full-time as a software engineer at Walt Disney Company, and I am a part-time content creator. I've been doing content creation on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram since I was in college, and through her campus, I got so many amazing opportunities. I did a Maybelline college ambassadorship. I worked with amazing brands like Victor and Rolf, and I also, most recently at her conference last summer in Brooklyn, was part of the Sol de Janeiro pop-up. And I've had some amazing opportunities. Her campus is really what kickstarted my content creator journey. My very first collaboration with Laneige was actually through them. It was my first paid collaboration. It was so exciting. And I'm really happy to be here.
That's amazing, and I love hearing what you both just spoke to, and like all of your incredible pursuits and passions that you're charging forward with. And I love that kind of your engagement with us and with these brands could be a part of that. So that's amazing. So obviously, as we've been talking about all day, and as you both just spoke to, brands are leaning more and more into the creator economy, user-generated content, tapping into Gen Z individuals to drive their messages forward. From your standpoint, how do you feel like these brands can really kind of differentiate themselves and stand out amidst the crowd of so many brands looking to do this?
I think it's very important to note that Gen Z absolutely loves aesthetics. We will eat up a cute packaging and cute Instagram posts, and we love seeing things that are just like very pretty, and especially if the product is amazing and it's very aesthetic looking, it's the perfect recipe. We're gonna love it, and we're gonna make it go viral, obviously.
Bethany's so right. I think another big one is really selling a lifestyle rather than a singular product. There are brands that I think are doing an amazing job with that, Glossier and Aloe, for example, that come like top of mind. They're not selling the idea of like, oh, a lip gloss or oh, a legging. They're selling like the Aloe lifestyle or a Glossier lifestyle. And if you're wanting to be a part of that, you want to be that Glossier like it girl, then you buy all their products. And that way it covers this whole realm of that entire brand and not just like one product or the other.
I'd also like to note that Gen Z loves brands that are very environmentally aware. Sustainability will win our hearts over, especially if they're cruelty-free as well. And we love when you guys let us know that. Letting us know that you're cruelty-free and sustainable and clean beauty is so important, and it will encourage us to purchase your products and share it, especially if someone else is very environmentally aware or vegan or something.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like, you all just touched on the aesthetic piece of it, the kind of lifestyle surrounding it, the cause element of it. And I feel like all of this is about kind of making sure brands sort of feel like they're aligned with your identity and sort of self-image, kind of beyond just what the product is. So much of it is about kind of everything surrounding the product itself. And do you feel like that aligns with you? So I think that's fantastic. And so getting a little bit more specific, as you think about the types of marketing initiatives that you've seen from brands, maybe how they pop up on campus, are they doing events, are they doing brand rep programs, which of these tactics do you feel like kind of resonate with you or you're excited about when you think about different things you've actually seen them do?
The biggest thing is to bring events to people. People get really excited about interacting with brands in real life, especially like coming out of COVID, and things can get a little fatiguing, and there's a lot of stuff on social media. So seeing a brand in person is just so exciting. I think tours are something that brands are doing nowadays that is really successful, like Glossier again, Makeup by Mario, Sol de Janeiro. And they travel to different cities besides just LA and New York, which I think is what brands tend to gravitate towards. And you see like comments on those posts, people being like, oh my God, I'm like driving 2 hours to come to downtown Austin just to see your pop-up. Like that's a huge, huge thing, and it really builds a lot of brand loyalty as well. And then I think another thing is giftings and ambassadorships are great, not just for college, which is amazing, but also for people like outside of college and even maybe high school. I think opening it up to a larger audience would be a great thing for brands to do. And when you do giftings and giveaways to smaller creators, it not only makes it seem more authentic because you're not, gifting to the same large creator who's getting PR from like hundreds and hundreds of brands, and it comes off as almost like inauthentic, but also smaller creators tend to care a lot more about the PR they receive. The chances of you getting posted and being used organically in their content is a lot higher. So I think definitely reaching out to smaller creators and just trusting that just because an audience isn't necessarily as large as like 1 million followers, that doesn't necessarily mean the reach won't be very high.
She said exactly everything I was going to say. We love events, we love pop-ups, and really just reaching other places besides, the main cities like New York and LA. I also think that campus ambassadorships are so amazing, and having your ambassadors doing sampling. I personally go to a very small school that doesn't get much attention in that term. And I have introduced the brands that I've sampled for to a lot of the students at my school, because my school, we are not very focused on like makeup or anything, and I've introduced so many products to my colleagues, and they have come up to me and say, oh, I just rebought the Clinique mascara because I love the one that you handed out. And I think that's just so important. Also, doing collaborations with smaller creators is also really important. And also lots of giveaways to regular people who are big fans of the company. Maybe they're not huge influencers, but I think rewarding your very loyal customers is also very appreciated.
Yeah, and I think what you both just spoke to is really like the importance of that micro element and even like the nano element sometime of it's not about necessarily being in only the biggest cities or the biggest campuses or with the biggest influencers, but really kind of like having that more specific, more local, smaller focus can go a long way. And I think that's amazing. So that's great. So, everyone in this room presumably is either a marketer or marketing adjacent, and they're thinking about that, and they're thinking about how to reach Gen Z. And I feel like people will talk about, again, they'll say, just like I just did, Gen Z, as if it's just like this nebulous like thing. So you guys are Gen Z. What do you want people to know about quote unquote Gen Z, straight from you?
One thing about Gen Z is we love authenticity. We can see through fakeness so easily. And when it comes to creating content for your brand, we love quick videos that are to the point. We have very small attention spans, and if a video is lengthy and too informational, we are probably just going to scroll away. So
you're busy.
Yeah, exactly. So get straight to the point. Let us know what's amazing about your product, and just we love seeing it used on people in their everyday life, not just through an ad, but as Niyati has said in her previous answers, it's like we want to see it be a lifestyle, and we want to see the product being used organically, and it's not just advertised to us, but show us how amazing it is through authenticity. Yeah.
Adam mentioned ad blockers, like how we have these like internal ad blockers. He is so right about that. We can spot an ad from a mile away, so it's so important not to sell. Be our friend. Focus on building brand loyalty by creating a really strong social media presence instead of just pushing each new launch independently. If you want to see a great example of a brand that does a really, really good social media presence, please check out Duolingo. They're amazing. They have their own personality, and they join trends that make sense to them. You see other people like us making content about Duolingo, and Duolingo's in their comment section, and it feels like Duolingo is your friend. It doesn't even feel like they're a company anymore. And the fact that that's a brand that's not even beauty based, and all my content pretty much is beauty based, but it comes to top of mind, just shows how present they are. And then when they release a new app or they release something new, it's people will naturally know about it and care about it because they already care about the brand. So it's less about the individual products and just about being their friend and showing that you're not some big brand, you're just like them. And that's kind of what we want to see.
So I would love for you to each kind of bring this to life and maybe talk a little bit more about a brand campaign or a program that you've been a part of with Her Campus Media. Why were you excited to be in it? What was the experience like? And what did you feel like you kind of got out of it?
So I think I mentioned most recently at her conference, I was part of the Sol de Janeiro activation booth. That was just an amazing time for me. First of all, having an in-person event or an in-person like partnership for the first time was crazy. Having everything been remote before that, I made my account for the first time like during the pandemic. So everything before that was completely remote. All the meetings were remote. I had never interacted with anyone in the content creator space, and the energy in that conference was just amazing. Like being surrounded by girls like me and Bethany and being able to meet everyone. I mean, everyone is so uplifting. It's such an amazing community. We all want success for each other, and it really shows that there is room for everyone to succeed and have a great like presence on social media. Sol de Janeiro is also one of my favorite brands. They have a great presence. I love their products, and so it was great to be able to represent them and meet such amazing people.
I am currently a Clinique ambassador through her campus. I have done it now for 2 semesters, and I am in love. I love working with the Her Campus team. They are just so kind and sweet. And I love getting to try Clinique's newest launches. We just tried their new cleansing balm mousse, and I am in love with it, and I've been sharing it with all my friends, and they've been buying it. And I just love connecting with fellow Clinique ambassadors as well. They've created such a beautiful community. And I've made friends that I got to meet in person recently at the Creators Loft that her campus hosted, which was just such a fun experience. They had like a Kate Spade borrow a bag, which was so cute. Everyone was taking photos. Another collab I've done with her campus is Impress Beauty. Impress, I did a in-person collaboration with them through Creators Loft, and we did so many amazing things. We had like master classes with celebrity makeup artists, and it was just such a beautiful experience, and I tell all my friends about it, and they're so jealous, but it's just been such an amazing experience working with her campus. I've done so many sampling events with them, and I always share them with my friends because they always include samples. So my friends love me a little extra for that. But anyway, yeah, I absolutely love her campus. They are so amazing with their opportunities.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's so nice to hear. It is so nice of you to say that. And I think it's very, very affirming for us because we're really looking to kind of make sure we're adding value and pouring into our community members. And of course, the brands are benefiting from these marketing programs, but that more so than that, the students participating in them are getting that much more out of it than the brands are putting in. So that's so nice to hear. So I would love to open it up for questions at this point of what questions anyone has for Bethany, Niyati, for me. Yes. Okay, yes, right back there.
Awesome. Raise your hand again. Sorry.
Thank you both for sharing and taking the time to come and speak with us today. It's so wonderful to hear from you. And Her Campus Media is wonderful as well, so I'm so excited for this session. But I'd love to know from your perspectives when brands are reaching out or even through all of the opportunities that Her Campus provides for you guys, when deciding which brands to work with, what kind of opportunities are you looking for specifically? Is it gifted product? Is it monetary compensation? Is it connecting directly with the team? Being able to go to these exclusive events? Like, how are you weighing the value of your time and energy that you're going to put in to the benefit of the program itself?
I would say I'm definitely a victim of accepting every single collaboration I get because I just love trying so many products. But as a busy college student, I definitely prioritize the brands that I have tried before and I know that I love because I want to be authentic with my content. I don't want to try something while I'm filming and then tell everyone to buy it. Also, monetary compensation is always nice. As a broke college student, we always appreciate a little help, especially because we put so much care into the content we are producing. I know personally I spend like 3 hours on every video I make just because I want it to be really representative of my content and to impress the brand with what I'm producing. And also like sampling activities on campus is always so fun because like I said, in my small school, I've introduced so many brands and products to the students at my school. So I think that's a great thing, especially at smaller schools that don't get much attention.
I think when I was in college, I was very much the same. Pretty much everything, like whether it was gifting, monetary compensation, sampling, like I would take pretty much everything. I think as you kind of gain a following, brands outside of just like ambassador programs reach out to you, right? And they often like will offer higher rates, and eventually it comes to the point where you can't say yes to everything. And when you pick and choose, it does become a matter of, okay, like, how much monetary compensation am I getting? Personally, when I graduated college, I stopped taking giftings because, there's only so much you can take. It's also very important to be mindful of overconsumption and sustainability. So I'm very careful with like the products I do accept and the partnerships I choose to take. So I think it depends on the size of the creator and what other brands are reaching out to them. But I think when you're in college, it's just so much fun when you're first starting out to just like try everything. And I definitely was in the same boat when I was in college.
Thank you.
So I work for a company and we go to a lot of events, and you see like we pick out giveaways and swag to give away. So what is appealing to you guys when you go to an event? Like here there's a lot of like giveaways at different booths. What's appealing to you guys that'll draw you to the booth and like an item that you'll want to keep?
I think definitely free samples or free products. We will usually, if I see there's a pop-up and they advertise that they're giving out free things, I'll go. And then I end up staying for a long time because I like to do Instagram posts because they usually have cute little photo ops and everything. But I think definitely everyone's going to go if they see that there's free products.
I think giveaways are great, but not everyone can win a giveaway. And I think having like a huge table full of free samples is the best way to get people to come. And then once they're there, like having those little photo opportunities and like a hashtag that people can share, so people like, their followers can also see, oh, there's this thing going on, let me go check it out. And even like a lot of people do like hot chocolate or like little treats. I think those are great too. And then of course like a giveaway for like everyone who comes to enter is also great.
Yeah, go. Who all had their hand up? You and you. Okay, that's the order. Keep your. All right.
Hi, how are you guys? I have a question kind of for her campus and also the Gen Z panelists as well. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend. I work at Hunter PR on the Amazon retail team, and we're starting to see that a lot of younger generations are kind of going against either going to college or getting a job right outside of college. Is her campus planning on doing anything for gap years or maybe embracing like feeling lost outside of getting a four-year education, whether it's right outside of high school or right outside of college?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question. And I feel like we really saw obviously such a rise in that during the pandemic and then continuing afterwards. And it was interesting for us, we're obviously a college-focused company, and people said, oh my God, during the pandemic, colleges were essentially shut down for 2 years. How did you all continue operating? But we said, it's not that we're interfacing with the colleges or it's about whether students are physically on a campus. It's about this life stage and this demo of when you're kind of out of high school, figuring out what you're gonna do next, how you're building your future. And so we definitely take a kind of open-minded approach to what someone might be choosing to do during that period of their life. Again, whether they're going to a 4-year school, a 2-year school, whether they're getting a job, they're doing a gap year. So absolutely. And I think, again, as long as the relationship that you have is with those individuals, with that audience and that demo itself, it doesn't matter whether they're on campus, whether they're at home, whether they're abroad. It can kind of transcend that the physicality of where they're spending their time. So yes, and we are really kind of just like interested to see obviously how the higher education system evolves. Obviously there's been such a reckoning of that, and we're kind of watching it with interest, but are just about continuing to like show up, support students at this stage of their life, whatever they decide to do. And it'll be really interesting to see, what comes of higher education in the coming years.
Here you go.
Hello. I come from the nonprofit world, and I'm wondering if you've worked with any nonprofits that don't have sampling or stuff like that, encouraging acts of kindness, and doing good things.
I actually run a nonprofit myself. I have a program where we have a bunch of concerts for causes that we're very passionate about. And I think it's so important that people are sharing that. I've definitely at least reposted a lot of things on my story about things I'm currently passionate. I'm very passionate about the cruelty-free world and vegan. So I repost a lot of nonprofit stuff on my story just so people become more aware about the problems going on and whatnot. So
When I was in college, I worked with my campus food bank, and I would post about them all the time. I think that's something that we are actually very, very passionate about, and I think if a nonprofit ever reached out to me, I wouldn't even ask. I would not ask for any sort of compensation. I'd be like, of course. And I'm pretty sure Bethany would feel the same way. I think if it's a cause that's important to me, which there's a lot of causes that are very important to me, we will for sure work with nonprofits. Like that's not even a question. So.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
We haven't been reached out to, but like I guess like through campus I used to, yeah.
Yeah, and we've worked with a lot of nonprofit partners as well to do amazing programs. And again, I think that's a great point that it doesn't have to be a physical product or a sample, because so much of it is really about what Bethany and Niyati spoke to begin with, that it just kind of like aligns with your identity and what matters to you and what you care about, which is obviously that much more direct when it's a nonprofit partner. We, for example, 4 years ago ran an amazing program with a nonprofit called Running Start that's all about getting more women to run for office, where we had a program where you could apply to be a part of it, to get to take part in this one-day program where you got to hear from female elected officials all across the country, then take part in this kind of boot camp training day with the experts at Running Start, all about laying the groundwork to run for office one day. And it was just this really, really powerful program. And again, there was no need for product or samples or compensation or anything. There was just such that cause-based element baked into it that just rings true beyond any physical product.
Amazing. I think we have time for one more question, if there's any. All right, well, definitely come and chat with us. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you all so much. My team is here as well. Come chat with any of us, and we'd love to share more. Thank you so much, Bethany and Niyati. That was fantastic.
Yes, thank you both.